Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some Outlaw Rogue solo shuffle. You guys wanted to see it, so we ended up good old fast recording. Now, this video, obviously the first round I didn't record it, and we ended up having some good games here. So as you can see, I'm gonna basically, this guy ends up getting sapped because he ended up innervating instead of just healing to get in combat. So this is pretty much all you're doing is off DR, you're gonna kidney the healer, and then you're gonna shadow dance cheap shot the main target. That's it. Exactly what I'm doing now is all you have to do is sub rogue and outlaw. Now assassin is a little bit different. Assassin, you're just gonna gouge the healer, and then obviously you're going to just kidney the main target off CD. That's pretty much all you're doing with that. Um, Destro is a really kind of hard comp to beat in general, just because they're so OP. I'm pretty sure this guy decided not to click a single button, and then my lock decided not to click a single button either. So again, we're playing at like 1200 CR, so which in general is like 2100 CR, but it's kind of to be expected. But it is what it is. I mean, when you're playing at 2100, it's not really it's like a frequent thing. So you'll see this warlock hard casting chaos bolts instead of getting his fast cast, so you'll know that it's already questionable from the very get-go. But overall, games were pretty good. I think we went like 4-2. I went 5-1 the first game, and then I think this is 4-2 the other one, I think. Um, so here we end up sapping. We're gonna either resap, so we resap, and then we can kidney off our sap, and then we blind off our kidney. So he's waiting the trinket, so we're gonna blind. He's gonna trinket, and he also sacks. So really good. We kick the warlock. That's hard casting kills bolt. Very unlucky, which you never want to do. These are really early queues, and anybody knows if you're queuing early, the queues are a lot easier. But then again, you're also getting a lot worse players, so it's kind of like a, you have more chance of gaining rating, but the problem is you also have a really high chance at losing a lot of rating too, because it just depends. Like as you can see, this is 2100, so this is not really high, but this had a rating where you would think people were like a high enough rating to know like this guy's backpedaling literally. So, that's just a difference between queuing prime time when everybody's queuing and queuing versus like Frostmourne. So this guy didn't Darkness, didn't Nether, and this is like a typical. So this is pretty much every single game. They just hold their C's and they just decide to not do anything. I said no dark, clueless. I said 5 IQ players. Oh, I said it all. Don't worry about it. But pretty much that was to be expected. So I'm in Discord with Truth at this point. So me and him are just talking while he's watching my stream, or not my stream, my Discord stream, whatever. But I did watch or actually I watched what's it called um a VOD of Crusaders AWC. That was that was good. That was Funai. That was Funai. So here again, we're doing the same thing. It's basically your same setup. You're literally gonna sap, kidney, and then blind. Now, obviously, he's cycling, so I'm not gonna blind. I'm not even gonna try to attempt to kill the observer because obviously I'm not gonna be able to reach it, other than maybe like shooting it. But it's just not even worth. My priest can just kill it. So here, this guy goes for the good old-fashioned Beolt, and all we're doing is we're gonna kidney the HPAL, and then that's it. It's literally just kidney gouging or kidney blind sap. We'll see what happens. So here I kidney, I'm gonna blind. He ends up trinketing my kidney into a full blind, and then I think we vanish sap. We'll see. Vanish. Don't get the sap. End up cheap shotting him instead. I could have gouged him. I ended up holding it instead. Maybe for the next setup. So here we get a fear. Really nice. Doing a decent amount of damage. Now, obviously, Outlaw, unless people are stacking, doesn't really do damage. Because obviously, Blade Fury is just like your main deeps. So, don't really expect to do unhealable damage. It's kind of like Sub Rogue. You're basically just a CC bot, meant to CC, and then have obviously your burst. Here, for some reason, I bugged out, and my grip just ended up being questionable. So, for some reason, that happened. I get a full good old-fashioned kidney. Here we keep doing damage on the Warlock, pretty much trying to kick Chaos Bolts and Fears. So we're just doing dam. He Chaos Bolts here, I kick the Chaos Bolt. As you can see, I'm a little bit delayed because I'm playing versus Frostmourne players. And that's how that is. So here we're doing a lot of dam, and he ends up walling, ends up land handsing. Darkness Air, the lock runs out of dark, so that's perfect. and basically they just waste all their CDs for no reason. We kidney shot the DH because obviously the lock's off DR. This guy DR bashes the H-Pal, tries the clone, doesn't get it, but he ends up dying anyway because it's too high of damp, and we end up taking him out. So really, this should be a really good game. Lock is good with Rogue, Lock is good with DH, and it's good with SP. So the Lock, this is definitely the Lock 6-0 territory. Same thing for Rogue, other than like Assassination. I mean, I'd say Assassination is really good with SP, and then just DH Rogue is just terrible in general. But overall, I have a good comp too. So it's like overall, I should automatically go past 3-3 because obviously I'm most likely gonna win with a lock every time because Destro Rogue is really good. Whether it's Outlaw Affliction or Outlaw Sass or Sub. So here I get double sap. I'm gonna probably kidney off of it. Full kidney into a full blind. So I trinket, blind. So again, we're just getting a bunch of CC in the opener. That's what happens when you get sap too. Now, had I not been able to sap, I would have just went for the kidney and then blinded and then sapped all of my blind. You know, had I not been able to sap. But thankfully, I got there in time, and that's how that goes. This guy doesn't kill Siphene, and you gotta kill Siphene. Siphene is one of the most OP cooldowns. If you don't kill it, you literally can't do any healing, and you gotta kill it immediately. And he's same thing with Observer if you're playing with like casters. So here I'm waiting. For some reason, I gouged the tree on accident. But I guess that's just how that went. So at this point, we're kind of just PVing him down. I'm playing with a Destro, so we can kind of just chill a little bit. One thing is, I do run out of haste up pretty frequently, so I'm using my Shift Q to get it gives me a decent amount of haste. So here I'm using it to get to this guy, kidney shot. I use my Shadow Dance to get my damage off. I have Burst coming back up. Here I'm going to gouge him, full gouge off my kidney, and we automatically get Disperse just by that. This priest is going outer space for some reason. Doesn't even go for the fear. So he's in the middle of nowhere, forcing the Zerk to come out into a full fear, which is really good by my lock. We can kidney shot this guy soon. Siphone's up. Gotta kill that immediately. I'm trying to get out of the fear here. So the lock's not killing. He ends up almost dying here. We have land hands and we have Bob. Thankfully we do land hands and we have port. Here I get a full kidney. I have blind coming up. I double cheap shot just to stop them from doing damage, even though it was probably not the best. Here I'm gonna run up there. I'm probably gonna gouge. I could have just waited, but I don't have Vanish, so you really don't want to use Vanish unless you have blind usually. That way you're able to sap off of it. You're able to kidney blind sap. Here we swap to the Druid. Have my lock swap with me. I end up getting Trinket regardless, so I ended up just solo getting every CD from him. We swap back to the Priest. I can gouge, or we can fear the Druid soon, so we'll see what happens. So we'll see if we go for the fear. So here we're doing damage. This guy's not killing Observer, so it's really good for us. I cheap shot. I'm going to use my thing. Full kidney shot. And at this point, he can full fear off my kidney. We win the game. It looks like he doesn't fear. I could have gouged too. I honestly was expecting a fear, but you can't really expect things. Kind of just have to do it on your own and hope for the best. Here I have burst up, so we should win the game here. We have double bop. That's literally all we have left. So we definitely are going to have to use that. He might be on 4 Barons. I don't know yet. So here I kidney off the coil. Again, we can full fear. If we do, we automatically win, but I think we win anyway just by pure damp and damage. So here he pops off some damage, and we end up taking him out because this guy gets a double bolt, ends up absolutely farming. Never let a Destro lock, honestly, any lock in general is just really hard to let them free cast because like, they just do so much damage. So you have to go the person that does the most damage, which is, in this instance, we're going to go lock every single go. You have to go lock every go because the lock is obviously going to do 10 times the damage if he free casts than the SP would. So, like an SP does a lot of damage, but compared to a Destro is like one of the best casters in the game. So, that and Venge Evoker are probably like the top best. So definitely got to be careful about those. Here, I think we trinket. We're going to blind. He trinkets my blind. So that at this point, we can run up and gouge, and then we can full kidney off the gouge. And then we go SP, and then I'm going to swap, so I cheap shot him. We end up vanishing. Obviously, I reset CDs fast. I see the Siphene. I'm trying to kill it immediately. I'm going to try to feint when I can, because obviously this is a lot of AoE dam and crowd control damage. or whatever, so I'm gonna get the benefit. Here I get full clone, which kind of sucks. My DH did not want to use his kick for some reason, so we didn't. We basically only have one kick because my HPOW didn't kick and my DH didn't kick. I didn't really care for my HPOW kicking, but you know it is what it is. Here he ends up iron barking, but there's no really point of swapping unless it's like a small swap, because it's like, and really nowadays it's not even about swaps. You're literally just training one target unless you literally can't. So here we end up gouging to a kidney. Don't have blind, so it's not like I can do anything more. I'm gonna use my shadow dance to double cheap shot. See, the thing is, they're stacking really close to each other, so it's really good for us. That's like the worst thing that you can do as a double caster is stack together, especially versus a double melee. He siphons again. I see it. I'm trying to clear focus. So I don't even notice it. I still don't notice it because I was killing in focus. So I think I see it right now. We'll see. No, I don't. Yes, I do now. He walls really good, even though the healer wasn't even CC'd, so we get wall pretty much for free. At this point, I'm going to go kidney this guy. We're going to get over there, use our leap to get over there. We're going to vanish, blind, and then vanish. We almost sapped him, but we instead gouged. And we get really trinket again, applying enough pressure to just do unhealable damage with the DH. And in this comp, should never lose to us. Warlock SP Druid is one of the best comps. Especially, I mean, if he was Affy, it would have been a lot better, because obviously the H-Ball is just dispelling the SP's bleeds like literally non-stop. And that's just how that goes. Now, if he was Affy, it would have been, you know, very questionable. Because Affy SP just feels unbeatable sometimes because it's just like so much output. And thankfully this guy didn't really fear much, so we didn't have to worry about it. At this point, he iron barks, but the game's pretty much over for them as long as we don't just rando die to air. We have darkness, so worst case he can just dark. At this point I'm going to get ready to CC the healer, so it's all DR. I'm going to wait for the kidney here. So here I vanish cheap shot, kidney the lock so we can keep pressure. Cheap shot the SP, he trinkets immediately. I can go and gouge the druid if I need to. We'll see what happens. So here we're just popping off some damage. I'm probably going to go gouge here. So here he tranks, even though trank doesn't do any healing. So at this point he needs to heal. I just gouge him off the trank. We keep doing damage. Good swap by the SP. He gets full rep into a full kidney. So just again, you're doing a lot of CC when you can. And you're just letting your teammates do the damage while you CC. At this point the game's pretty much over. It's too high damp. He's not going to be able to top him. And the game is over. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Obviously, I'm trying to keep up with the videos every day, but, you know, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.